I heard Jack Black's voice. I'm going to stick to it. And if Jack Black's voice is in it, that raises the fun level up by 2. Okay? That's awesome. Okay. At that end, Adam Boyce come out again, cracked some dumbass jokes, and announced that Diablo 3, the Ultimate Evil Edition, coming out in August, will have enemies like bloaters and clickers and other monsters from The Last of Us in the game. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. They're going to implement monsters. So they're kind of adding a PlayStation feel to the Diablo 3 game that's coming onto their system. I like that stuff. I like that stuff a lot. It'd be kind of like if with the Xbox version they put like, Covenant or, the bad guy, I can't remember the bad guys' names, but the bad guys from the underground dwellers from, Gears of War in there to give it an Xbox feel. So I like stuff like that. That was pretty cool by Sony. Pretty creative. And then here's another big one. Battlefield Hardline came up next. And Adam Boyce, he comes out after the demo of Battlefield Hardline, which Battlefield Hardline looks stupid. You know why they're doing Battlefield Hardline? It's because they don't want to make 2 Battlefields in a row. They don't want to make Battlefield 5. Because what they usually do is they make a Battlefield, then a Medal of Honor. Battlefield, Medal of Honor. That's what they did the past 4 years, but they're not doing it this time. First of all, because Medal of Honor sucks. They just can't make a good Medal of Honor game. The last 2 just suck, okay? And so they're like, fuck it, everyone loves Battlefield. Let's just make another Battlefield. But this time we'll call it Hardline. And I hope they're not doing... I hope EA... Well, it's EA. They'll do whatever the fuck they want, the pricks. I hope EA isn't doing the Battlefield like what Phil Spencer did to Forza, where he says, we've got 2 racing games. And he was saying that Forza Horizon and Forza, Forza itself, are 2 different video games when they're not. I mean, they got Forza in the title. That's part of the Forza franchise. So I hope they're not going to try and say, oh, this is a brand new game. It's called Battlefield Hardline when Battlefield's in the goddamn title. That's what I think that's what they're going to do, but we'll see. It's Battlefield. Don't let anyone tell you any different. It's Battlefield. So that's 2 Battlefields in a row. They're pretty much giving up on Medal of Honor, or they're trying to, get it better or something, because right now they're just like, fuck it, we're not doing any more Medal of Honor. But of course, Adam Boyce comes out as the guy who just rubs me the wrong way, as usual, saying, grapple hooks and zip lines, that's my jam. Oh, Adam Boyce, you bugged the shit out of me. You bugged the shit out of me. Oh, and then Adam Boyce, he had some big news. Big news. Sony's got a deal with Disney. Oh, you get to have Marvel characters exclusive to PlayStation on Disney Infinity. And the crowd erupted. They erupted. The place went nuts. It was like when Trutton from last year announced that the system was not going to be DRM. It was crazy. Everyone was like, oh, Disney Infinity. Oh, no one gives a shit. Fucking move on. More, and then more came out on Destiny. They talked more about Destiny, blah, blah, blah. Then they talked about Magicka 2. Don't really know much about that game, but this was a cool one. The Grim Fandango is being remastered for the PS4 and the PS Vita. So that's pretty fucking awesome. That's pretty cool. That, and he came out about publishers Devolver Digital, how they're making games are coming out for their console debut on PS4 and PS Vita first. And that's Broforce, Titan Souls, Not a Hero, and Hotline Miami 2, Wrong Number. I think that was it for that one. And then Cryoteum came out about the Talos Principle. I think that was another indie game. Blah, blah, blah. And then this one, I don't know what this was. Pseudo 51. Pseudo 51 came out. I think it's an exclusive. I'm not for sure, but they came out with a game called Let It Die. It kind of had a Manhunter feel to it. A Manhunter feel, so I'm not sure about that one. And then another indie exclusive came out from creators Giant Squid. They're making a game called Abzu, and Ab means water, and Zoo means to know. That's what it means in like Greek or whatever. And basically, I've got good news now. That's it with Adam Boyce. Adam Boyce is out of the picture. I'm glad we're done with Adam Boyce. So now to a game called No Man's Sky. That looked interesting. Basically, Sean Murray, he came out flashing his cock. Is that a thing? Is that a thing with Sony? Are they like just flashing their cocks out? Because that's the second guy that did that on stage. He came out, flashed his cock, and he's the founder of Hello Games, and he said they're a tiny little indie studio, and they're making a game that's infinitely big, and they don't even know what's on the planet or something like that. Something stupid. I don't know. Basically, the game's about flying and exploring the universe, so that was pretty cool. They had a really, really cool scene where you left the atmosphere and you went through the clouds, and then all of a sudden it's dark out because you left the planet's atmosphere. It's not blue anymore. And then it showed them go through like a battlefield and land on a planet, and it was really cool the way you landed on a planet and left planets. Like you could see where you're going. It was just, I recommend looking at it. That was really impressive. I loved that a lot. Anyway, Andrew House comes back, and Andrew House comes back out, and he demonstrated us how he uses a public toilet. So it was very interesting. What he does is he likes to lay down toilet paper and sit on it, which I think a lot of people like to do that. And after he did that, the demonstration of how he uses public toilets, he talked about the PS camera and how it revolutionized something. And then he talked about Project Morpheus. And what Project Morpheus is doing. Yada, yada, yada. Don't care. And then he introduces a guy named Sean Layden. I guess this guy was about, he came out and he looked as business as fuck. And the first thing he says is, he stated that he felt excitement and pressure in his anus. So, and the crowd just erupted. They loved it. They loved to know about his anus. So, I mean, you Sony people are into some weird fucking shit. Can I just say that? I'm just getting that out of the way. But YouTubers, coming to PS4 later this year is YouTube. You can download your video games to YouTube, which you should have already been able to do, but fuck it, Sony's a corporation, they do what they want. Then they said something about Ustream and Twitch, blah, 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 and then they talked about free-to-plays. And I love the way this so-called excitement and pressure in his anus, Sean Layden, said, free-to-play simply means free-to-play. And he showed Kingdom Under Fire, PlanetSide 2, Gunza, and then I love the way at the bottom of the screen, it said, certain features available for a fee. Right when that Sean, pressure having in the anus area person, said, free-to-play means simply free-to-play. I mean, that guy is about as corporate as it gets. Something about PSN. I was falling asleep, dude. The thing about Sony is they don't really give the best E3s. I mean, goddamn, dude. There was a lot of third-party stuff they were showing, and I just didn't give a shit. They barely did anything with exclusives. Then the DualShock 3 and select Sony televisions have access to PS Now. PS Now is like this thing where you can stream games and play them, and apparently if you have a DualShock 3, you can play PS3 games on a Sony television. I'm guessing it's like a smart TV or something. You don't even need the system. So then they announced PlayStation TV. And then there's going to be over 1,000 games at launch. The PlayStation TV is kind of like a PlayStation Vita that you hook up to your TV. It's kind of like the Amazon Fire. Or no, what's it called? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just like a thing you can stream. This little device you can stream with onto your TV and watch Netflix and stuff on it and play PlayStation Vita games. And then they demonstrated Mortal Kombat 10, which, you know what? I love Mortal Kombat. I love it to death. It's got one of my favorite video game characters of all time. And of course, in the demo, it was Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, and of course Scorpion won. Of course Scorpion beat the living shit out of Sub-Zero, which I love. Oh, I just love watching Scorpion always beat the shit out of Sub-Zero. It gets me so rock hard. And then there's two new players. One, the two of them, one was like a bee woman. She controlled bugs or something. And then the other one was actually kind of different for Mortal Kombat. It was two people or one player. It was this giant with a little girl on his shoulder, and it was actually kind of cool. It was kind of a different type of character, but yeah. So Andrew House comes back out, and this time he saves us, the demonstration of using public toilets. And then he tells us about the Marvel comic book, The Powers, the TV show. They're making a TV show exclusive to PlayStation called Powers, and it's based off a comic book from Marvel. And that's when he introduces this guy named Brian Michael Bendis. And this guy, he's got some great qualities. Apparently, from what Andrew House said, he said he slept with over 1,000 women. Wow, that's impressive. So that tuned me in. When I hear that, I listen. I listen to the guy who slept with over 1,000 women. And what was Brian Michael Bendis talking about? He was talking about a lot of Yeah, he did that a lot. So we'll pass that. Basically, there's a Powers TV show coming. Ratchet and Clank movie coming to theaters. Yay, that's actually pretty cool. And then, what is with Sony? I mean, with remakes. They're doing a remake for Ratchet and Clank, the very first one. They're doing a remake for The Last of Us, and they're doing a remake of Grand Theft Auto 5. What I'd like to know is why they're spending 10 minutes on The Last of Us and then 10 minutes on Grand Theft Auto 5, so that's 20 minutes total, showing gameplay footage from last gen games. We get it. We know what the game is. That's 3 years in a row they've showed The Last of Us gameplay footage at Sony. They showed it 3 years ago when they're debuting it. They showed it last year when they were talking about putting it on the PS4. Or no, wait, no, they didn't. They showed it. That's 2 years in a row with The Last of Us. They showed it last year to show us the game, and then they showed it this year just to be like, hey, it's coming to PS4. We know it's coming to PS4. Just tell us. Just say it's coming to PS4. We don't need a 10-minute gameplay footage of a freaking game that we already played and beat, most of us. And I get that people haven't played it, but they've only heard of it. But just say it's coming out. We don't need. That's what I hate about this shit. You're wasting time at E3 of your own conference showing old gameplay footage of Grand Theft Auto 5 and The Last of Us. Good time too, not just little clips. Quite a bit of time. I don't give a shit about that. I want to see your new exclusives coming out for the PS4. Because you know what? One thing I'll give Xbox, they've got fun exclusives. They do. They just do. Okay? Everyone's bashing on them that they've got the weaker system and that a lot of their games you can play on the PC. And I get it. Some of their games just aren't that appealing. And it's not like their games are amazing. And I get they're unappealing for some people. But at least they're fun. They're playable. Dead Rising 3, which is now going to PC, so I can't really use that right now, was an amazing. I love that game. That game was lots of fun. Forza, I'm not, particularly that into. But then, I mean, and then Sunset Overdrive looks amazing, and it's new. Like, I don't know. I've got to give them credit for the games they're kicking out. And I don't know. That's just me, though. But here's a really good one. You can download your data from the PS3 to the PS4 for Grand Theft Auto 5. But not just the PS3, the Xbox 360. You can literally take Xbox 360 data and transfer it to a PS4. That's pretty crazy. Moving on, they showed some exclusive of Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. It looked good. It looked really good. No shit. It's Metal Gear Solid 5. It looked really dark and grim. Just looked like a lot of death. Then they showed Batman Arkham Knight. And you want to know the best way to sell me Batman Arkham Knight? How about you fix the last Batman game, you pricks, at WB? Because I ain't buying that shit. I don't care how amazing it is. I've bought that game, and I ain't beating it because I'm afraid that it's going to go bad on me and my save data is going to fucking go away. So how about you fix the bugs in the last one that you refuse to fix? And then maybe I'll buy your Batman Arkham Knight. And then they finished it off with Uncharted 4. It looked like a cutscene. So that's about it. I was disappointed. But I was kind of disappointed with Xbox. But you know what? For different reasons, though. Xbox, they just pretty much showed games. I was kind of disappointed with Sony's in this fact that they did a lot of talk about TV and stuff. Kind of what Xbox did last year and everyone got on their ass for. Rightfully, they deserved it. They learned their lesson though, but I don't know. I'm so sick. I'm just so sick. Dude, Sony's exclusives suck. I'm sorry. I'm not saying the games are going to be bad. I'm not saying they're ugly. I'm just saying that we already knew about Uncharted 4. You know, we knew that for a while now. So why would you show us a cutscene about nothing when you could actually show us some gameplay? That's what I wanted to see from Uncharted 4. And then freaking, I mean, there was nothing about Drive Club, which is that still coming out? And there was nothing about The Last Guardian. Why won't they show anything about The Last Guardian? That would have been fucking sweet. I would love to have seen something about The Last Guardian. Now this over here, um, the Order 1886, that just doesn't, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably going to get it and play it, but that just doesn't look like anything. I don't know. So, the YouTube comments were cool. Andrew House demonstrating how he uses a public toilet was cool. But overall, I don't know. I think this E3 altogether was kind of sucky because the Xbox One was kind of disappointing for me. Other than Scalebound, I haven't really seen anything from either Sony or Xbox that's breaking news for a new game. So it's like, I don't know. This is a depressing E3. Just thought I'd do it this year. But that's an opinion. And that's mine. I just spent 28 minutes on this. Wow. So there you go. That was the Sony